Hello and welcome to Master Gardening. I'm your host Bud Qualk, and today we're at Linda and Charlie Shields' garden. And I could be wrong, but this may be my favorite show of all time. Hello, this is Dr. Charlie Shields, and we're at Dr. Charlie Shields and Linda, who will show up later on in the garden. His darling wife have let us come here and share this garden today, and this is going to be, you'll see, it's really going to be something. Charlie, have you've gardened your whole life?
Yes, pretty much my whole life. My aunts and uncles always had a garden. Linda's parents had a garden. So.
Gotta have a garden.
Yeah, that's right.
So you lived in Paducah?
Yes, grew up here, lived in Lone Oak my whole life.
And was Lone Oak a big city then, or was it kind of country?
This was out in the country back then.
I heard something about there used to be the sweet corn guy when you were in.
Well, we had some sweet corn patches early on, and then tomatoes and things like that.
Somehow you can become real popular if you get the sweet corn patch going for the neighborhood.
Everybody enjoys the sweet corn.
Yeah. Now Linda said she grew up in southern Illinois, and their families all had big gardens back then too.
Yes, yes, she did. She
so
grew up on the farm.
Is she the master gardener, or are you, or both?
No, she is.
She is. Okay. Now you showed me this book, and all gardeners have their favorite book, and this happened to be a UK Extension Office book. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's not tattered and torn like some of my books, but you can tell by looking at it, it's been gone through many times. So you use this to
Right, this has a lot of good information. It's free from the Extension Office, and it's good for experienced gardener, but it's also good for just people wanting to start a small garden or get into the gardening.
Well, talking about small gardens, we're going to find out here in a little bit. Your garden's not very small.
I have a big garden. Just keeps me busy, gives me something to do.
Yeah, it's something like I dreamed of at one time, but the only reason I did something like what you've done was to protect my garden also from raccoons and squirrels and things like that.
Right.
But it never looked like that. I was down there this morning. I didn't see a single weed.
Oh, well.
I think maybe by the rhubarb there was a couple because the compost got mixed in, but not a single weed. Tell us about the fences and that type of things. You've got that tall fence, and you got the electric wire, and you said you're going to do something else. Tell us what your problem is.
We had a lot of problems with the deer. A lot of deer in the backyard at the bird feeders, and so they just completely eat the garden up. So we had to put a fence up. It's about 8 foot tall.
The deer mainly.
And then, but I used just regular cattle fencing, and now my big problem is the groundhogs and the rabbits. So I put electric fence up around the base, but they still are coming in, so I'm going to add a chicken wire layer to the base, and then I'm going to order some the spray that deters rabbits and groundhogs, and spray the plants.
Okay. Well, when you get some of that stuff, if it's successful, I want you to let me know, because I've got some of the same problems, and I live downtown Mayfield.
Yeah.
So yeah, the same things. Yeah. Well, let's go get Linda and go out and look at some of your garden. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Charlie, we're down here at your vegetable garden, and it's really nice this morning. The index is what, 105 or something, and we got a little breeze going here. We are in the sun though, for a change. You got some shade. We'll walk through some shade here in a little bit. But this is your...
This is a rhubarb bed we've tried to get established, and we had several nice plants, and they've all died. And you can see these two last ones are dying also. Maybe crown rot, I'm not sure. Next year I'm going to order some bulbs in March instead of buying these plants, and try to get them out earlier, see if that would.
2 weeks ago I was here, and they looked beautiful.
Yeah, it was good then, and I kept them watered, so I'm not sure what's going on.
So crown rot.
Crown rot, I think, maybe, because the leaves are just dying off, and you can just pull them off from the crown, you know, and so.
So they're not gonna, it's probably not gonna survive.
No, it's not gonna survive.
Okay, but this right down here now,
yeah,
this is completely the opposite.
Yeah, this is horseradish. Just planted that last year, and that stuff just takes over. It's a nice plant, and this fall we'll dig the roots, grind them up. And
you haven't tried it yet?
I haven't tried it yet, no.
So there's no real use for that except when you grind it up.
That's right.
Put it on your steak, your prime rib.
Right, that's exactly right.
Okay.
So we'll be trying that this fall.
Now this is really good looking soil. What have you done?
Well, this is all compost. It's leaves and organic material and chicken litter and horse manure and cow manure all mixed up, and
that's
so it really makes a
that's
nice
dream stuff there. It just falls apart.
And you can see a few weeds or sticker weeds that are growing up in it, but we'll get those all.
You can't get the weeds out for the compost. You got new weeds every year.
Right. Yeah. Every time you turn it over, well, you bring up a new. Some seed from the seed bed.
Plants you've never seen before, right? Well, let's go over and look at these blackberries. They look like they're starting to ripen.
Okay, these are tame blackberries. They're thornless. They make a nice large berry, great for cobblers or to eat on your cereal. Nathan, you want to pick this blackberry right here?
Can you reach it?
Yeah, show them how big it is. Turn around and show them look how big that blackberry is.
Dan said they're sequoia because they're so big, right, Dan?
And here's another one right up here if you want to pick him.
Now, just because they're black doesn't mean they're ripe, right? On the tang?
Yeah. Usually when they're ripe, they just fall off when you touch them. And they're easy to pull off. And when they're red like this, well, you can tug on them, they won't turn loose.
You got to be kind of, right at the last second, they plump up.
Right.
They get a lot bigger.
Right.
Even though they're black, and I've got a few at home, but they're not as big as these.
Anyway, you can see we've got plenty of berries that'll be coming on.
Now, you get these latticed up like this. Now, the berries come on the new growth, don't they, or the old growth? What?
Right. The berries are on the old growth, the canes from last year, and after the berries mature, and you can pick that one. After the berries mature, well, we'll cut these old canes out, and then these are the new ones coming on for next year.
They don't have any berries on them.
They don't have berries on them this year.
Till next year. So the second year, and the other ones, yeah, I've even left my old canes. They'll turn brown and die.
Right, they will. And
so
usually in the fall or early spring, we'll clean them all out.
Okay. So you want to see these new ones. This means next year's crop, how good they're going to be.
Right.
If you don't have any of those, you're in trouble, right?
That's right. And some people will cut them, kind of prune them back, and it'll make them bush out more, and you'll have more berries.
So now sometimes, so you can walk up and down through here, you don't want them in your way every time you mow and stuff like that. They get to be a nuisance.
Keep it clean where you get in here and pick them.
They're looking good. What happened to that one?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, I know what's happened to that one.
A bird might have had.
All got the seed left. His bird got it, Dan. Okay, let's go look at these tomato plants. Your main crop of tomatoes is on down, Charlie, but these, I know these are awful small. What's the deal on these?
Yep. These are some seed that I planted last of May, and I'll transplant these in the next week or so for a fall crop. These are all Rutgers tomatoes. Makes a real good late tomato.
Okay, once the other tomatoes play out, then these will be ready to go.
Yes, that's right.
I did that once. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, then you've got some tomatoes here. What are these?
This is just one tomato plant of grape tomatoes. They actually cluster on the vine like grapes, and they're small. They're smaller than cherry tomatoes, but they're good in salads and little tomatoes.
And what are these?
And this tomato is a Roma.
And what's a Roma?
Well, they use those in Italian sauces and that sort of thing.
Little plum type tomato.
Plum type tomato. Yeah.
They're better for paste and things like that because they don't have all that stuff inside.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. And then some late tomatoes that I just planted the last day or two. Those are the Rutgers. Some of these.
Oh, plants. Some from that plot over there.
Right. And these tomatoes over here are Bradley's. A Bradley tomato is it's a pink tomato. And when you slice it open, though, it's red inside. But when they're ripe, they're just pink.
Pink skin.
Right, pink skin.
Yeah, I've never grown any of those, but they're good. I've heard of them before.
Nice flavor.
Yeah, and then these are in the nightshade family, but they're not tomatoes.
These are eggplants, and this is a Japanese eggplant. You can see they get kind of a long
torpedo type.
Right. Eggplant, and then these are just the traditional eggplants. You can see we have
they're not quite far along. Oh, there you go.
Eggplant starting right there. It'll get, of course, a lot bigger. Anyway, those are nice looking plants.
Yes, they sure are. Those little white flies or whatever, a lot of times they'll just skeletonize those leaves overnight almost, but yours are in pretty good shape.
Yeah,
Do you spray those with anything?
Spray them with 7.
7?
Yes.
Okay. 7's one of the better things. They're not quite as potent as malathion and some of those other ones that they use. And the bush beans.
Yeah, these are purple.
These are beautiful.
These are peas, purple hull peas, and You can see here's one that's ready to pick. The rest of them are just now setting on. 2 half rows. And then down at the end of the purple hulls are some butter beans, and I thought they were lima beans, and then they had these runners, so I think it's a half runner type butter bean, and I put the poles up so they're running up those a little bit.
They look great. You're gonna have to hire somebody to come in here to pick one of these days, aren't you?
There'll be a lot to pick.
Lot to pick. Now I've grown black-eyed peas, and they do the same thing. They're real easy to pick because they're right there on top.
Right, they just come right up on these stalks, and you can pick them.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the name, like peas. If it has the word name peas in it, they're on top. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where
they look really good. And again, your plants look so good.
Full of blooms. You can see them blooming and sitting on them.
And the bees are getting on them right and left.
Right. Yep, pollinate them.
Okay, let's go on down. I think you got the pole beans here coming up next, and
we have some squash.
Squash.
Yeah, we got lots of. This is yellow squash. These are straight neck squash, and you can see these are
gourmet.
Right. And
that's when you like. I like to pick them like that. When
yeah,
they're gourmet like that.
Small.
Yeah.
Squash are all doing great, and down at the lower end are zucchini. You can see there's a little different.
A little bit darker leaves.
A little darker leaf. And
now, these are perfect. What's your secret to the plants looking this good? Are you doing anything special to them?
Well, we use a little bit of fertilizer, but not much, and then we have a lot of compost we mix in the garden each fall. And
soil looks great. All your plants look so great, but doesn't show any signs of diseases or.
No.
You ever have the disease where they just die overnight?
Yes, occasionally we do. As soon as that happens, we want to get them out of the garden so it's not transmitted to the other plants. And then this year, we read in one of our organic gardening magazines that if you plant onions in with the squash, it'll help.
I'll be darned.
It'll help with the bugs and the disease. So we just have some onions, and then we can pull those and eat them as green onions.
I want to know how that works out because
so far it's working good this year.
My squash and my all my those type of plants all die. They just as soon as they start making good squash, they seem to always die.
We've had one die down here. We had to pull it up the other day, and
yeah.
But these are looking good this year.
Yeah. Have you ever tried frying the blossoms?
No, but I've read about it. But I think
dip them in batter and fry them. I never have either.
Yeah.
Look at this butterfly coming here.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Pretty.
Okay, let's go on down. These things are outrageous. What is that, 10 feet tall,
yeah,
Charlie?
At least 8, but beans will just keep growing and fall over, so I think if you had a taller pole, they'd get taller. They'd just grow right on up.
They get purple blossoms.
Right, this is an heirloom green bean, and the bean itself is actually purple, and then when you cook it, it turns green.
I'll be darned.
And these have been handed down from for generations. Hilary Hunt gave me a start of these beans, and he got them from people in Mississippi, friends in Mississippi. So, and I think I've seen advertised a Louisiana pole bean that's purple, so it may be similar type bean, but it's a great tasting bean. They can good.
Would you be willing to give up some of those beans?
In the fall, I have a lot of seeds.
I'd like to have some. Yeah. And then you have a whole row here,
right. and these are Kentucky Wonder pole beans. We have about in thirds here. These are Kentucky Wonder pole beans, which a lot of people in Kentucky grow. Of course, they make a kind of a flat bean. They make a good bean. And then on the fore end are pole butter beans. They're Texas speckled butter beans, and they're real good butter bean.
Now, these Kentucky Wonders, are these heirloom also?
No, these are just regular.
They're the hybrids?
Just hybrids. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so are the butter beans.
Yeah. Well, your leaves don't even have any holes in them.
So far we've been lucky. We have to watch for the bugs, and then the Japanese beetles. They'll eat them up so when the Japanese beetles get on them, we have to spray them to try to keep those off. But this year we haven't been bothered.
You haven't done anything with them?
Nothing yet.
Usually heirlooms are susceptible to all kind of stuff, but I don't even see a yellow leaf on there.
No, they're really healthy plants. They're looking really good right now.
I've got beans that are this tall, and the leaves are already got holes in them.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got a good spot here, I guess. They haven't found you yet, maybe.
Found us yet. That's right.
So, what are these?
This is okra. This is a dwarf variety of okra, and they're just about ready to start blooming and setting on. And they might be a little bit thick. We like to usually thin them out to where they're about a foot apart, and they're growing up about so high. of course, it'll just be loaded with okra.
They don't look like they mind being that close.
No, so far there's.
I think they'll be
healthy,
okay.
Yeah.
Now the dwarf, does that mean that the plants are dwarf or the
Plants,
fruits dwarf?
No, the plants are dwarf. The other okra will get so high you can't reach it, and
Yeah.
this won't get that high. So it's a nice type.
They're loaded with blossoms.
Yeah.
Now, is this a hybrid or do you know?
I don't know. I suspect it is, but I'm not sure.
But they're also healthy. I don't. If
Yeah.
I was you, I wouldn't think about thinning them.
Yeah, so.
A lot of times when my
Yeah,
plant,
most of them are about a foot. We thin them a time or two. Here's a nice bloom on one down in here. Probably can't.
beautiful bloom.
Probably
Probably can't
can't-
get that though, can
yeah,
you?
can't see that bloom
No.
right there, but
I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
So you know. Well, those are beautiful plants, and okra's a lot like squash. If it looks a little small today, tomorrow it's going to be too big.
that's right. Pick it as soon
Yeah.
as you see it.
As soon as you see it, you better
they're
pick
good
it.
Until they get too big.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Now this is your main tomato patch over here.
right. Yeah, we
And
have-
these all look great too. They've got a little bit of the fungus going on the bottom, which almost everybody that plants tomatoes is familiar with that. And you put them on some black plastic here. Is that?
Yeah, that's to keep the grass and weeds from growing up in them so bad, and then we able to till down the middle to keep the weeds and grass out.
This is what all your commercial farmers do. Now is that fiberglass or what is that?
No, I'm not sure, but it lets the water go through, and then you can reuse it, pull it up, and reuse it for next year.
I'll be darned. And then it also warms your soil up in the
Right,
spring,
right, you
which
plant
tomatoes
a
like
little earlier.
warm.
Yes, sir.
And when you're watering them, if you water, then you haven't had to water yet, have you?
No,
But
not
maybe
yet.
this week.
Not yet, yeah. I think with them turning brown on the bottom, I'm gonna get my soaker hose out and water them here, and then if we don't get a good rain Thursday.
If you splash them, you splash those funguses up on the plants, and
Right.
they moves up.
Right.
And hopefully this black fiberglass or whatever it is will hold that down too. It looks like.
Right.
We had a show on tomatoes not too long ago about the funguses and what have you. You don't spray though.
No.
Okay.
No.
I spray once a week.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I've got my plants look about like yours. I don't see a whole lot of difference, so maybe spray. Now these are heirlooms. What kind?
No,
you got?
these are. This is a Mountain Glory, which is a determinate tomato, and it's really a packing tomato. They make great looking tomatoes, but they don't taste real good early in the spring. So we thought we'd try. We just got 3 plants. Thought we'd try them and let them ripen on the vine and see if they're any better.
So these are commercial growing.
Right. These are commercial type.
And they're short, so they're
Right.
probably determined or
Right. I
and-
think they'll all kind of get ripe about the same time, and then that'll be it. These are early girl, which they'll just keep growing right on up till late summer, and they're more typical type garden, indeterminate.
early girl.
Early girl, and they'll just keep growing.
The rest of these are all.
And then Jet Star in the middle, or a row of Jet Stars,
That's
and
a
then next
family
row
favorite.
Rutgers.
Now Rutgers is a heirloom.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
it's my dad used to grow them, so
Okay,
that's why I know.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's. You didn't. Yeah, I think they are. Maybe they have a hybrid named Rutgers, but my dad used to grow Marglobe and Rutgers were the two
Yeah,
that he always
okay,
grew.
Yeah.
So let's go on down and look at these cucurbits. Charlie went to get a drink. Linda,
Yes.
you taking over?
I'll try.
These are cucumbers, look like to me.
Yes, these are straight 8 cucumbers that we have growing on I think it's a cattle panel. And this is something new we're trying instead of just on the ground.
What's the advantages of that, you think?
Well, it gets the cucumbers up off the ground, hopefully. And they're easier to pick, they stay cleaner.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe the bugs can't find them up there on there either, maybe.
Well,
They look really good. Again, everything we looked at today so far, the leaves look really good. No sign of any diseases. And they're the same thing with squash with me. Is that sometimes overnight you come back the next day and it's dead.
Right.
I guess that's the stem borer or whatever they call that thing.
well, these get a wilt, I think.
So you do a lot of pickling?
Yes, I try. That's the deal. What the groundhog hasn't eaten.
And this was, I think Charlie said this was voluntary this year?
This in this area right here is, yes.
Yeah.
It's about to go to seed, so it's almost
Yeah, I think
ready.
once you have dill, you have it forever.
True. It reseeds.
Now these plants they're starting to look a little bad. It's the first plant we found but they're almost done with their cycle though, aren't they?
That is true. They're supposed to look that way. They're ready to be dug. It's the potatoes. And I think These are Kennebec white potatoes that they're getting ready to pull and dig.
So Charlie and Nathan will dig some here, and you say they're white?
Yes, Kennebec is the variety.
There's one right there already. 2.
Pick those up.
Got some good help there, Charlie. Now they're supposed to look like that.
Yes.
The end of the season,
Right.
they found another one.
Good.
Now that one had a green spot on it. Is that good or bad? Doesn't make a whole lot of difference, does it?
We have to cut that off. That's
Yeah, that's sun scald, you know, where if
Yeah.
they're close to the surface.
Yeah. But I see you've got them in. You hilled them up, and where they have. How deep do you plant them, or why do you hill them up like this? Do you?
well, as the potato grows, it has to have something to grow in, and so you hill them up, so the potatoes are covered down in there, and then you pull the plant and dig them out.
And I think I could be wrong, but the potatoes grow above the roots. They don't really grow down in the roots, do they? Don't they grow up along the? So you have to pull the dirt up on top of them. I'm not a potato expert, but
Well, I think they grow on the roots. If you look at that potato
yeah.
that he pulled right there, there's still one on there.
They grow
Yeah.
above the seed potato, though.
Yes,
Plant 'em.
yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. You go above the seed potato. You like doing that, Nathan?
Charlie, pull this one right here.
This big one right here.
Bigger one.
One thing I like about potatoes is the harvest time,
Yeah.
because it's almost like a surprise. You don't know if there's going to be one potato under there or 100. Well, those are nice. Those are nice.
Yeah.
I see you have another row of dill down here.
Right.
What happened to those down there on the end?
I think the groundhog or the rabbit has eaten the top out of that. We've had a problem this
You
year.
don't have any trouble with the critters, do you?
Just slightly.
I noticed this fence. We haven't talked about this fence yet, but this is to keep the neighbors out.
No, that's for the deer. I call this our Jurassic Park fence. It would keep out T-Rex, I think.
It'll keep out the neighbors too, though.
Well,
I know I've
true.
had the neighborhood boy. I shouldn't say that probably, but I think he's been coming over and getting some of my fruit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you never know. I don't think he knows it's a bad thing. Yeah, and I notice on the bottom here, and I don't know if you can see this or not that far away, but there's some electrical wire down there.
That's true. That's for groundhogs and rabbits, which has not worked.
Has not worked. Well, luckily it was an inexpensive and low cost
Right.
system
To try.
I'm just kidding.
To try. No, you are
But
correct.
I'll tell you what, you probably don't know it, but some don't make it. You know, maybe some make it in, but that's
Yeah.
got to deter some of them. Okay, and they've got some of your dill down here. What else do they eat?
Well, Charlie can tell you about that on down the way here.
Oh, okay. When we get down to oh yeah, I see down here farther.
Yeah.
And your cabbages. Last time I was here,
We're sharing
they were
those.
pristine. There wasn't a single hole in any of the leaves. But you've had a little trouble with the pests on that too.
Yeah, the cabbage looper, and just in a 2-day span, when we weren't out here, why they took over.
Yeah. Well, now the heads of lettuce will still be good though, right? 'Cause
Right,
it
it'll
comes
go
from the
ahead.
inside.
Right, it'll go ahead and form a head, and all this
Right there.
would, you won't pick that anyway
Mm-hmm.
when you cut the head. So
That white butterfly, I see it sometimes floating around.
I've seen one
You
out
wanna
here
kill
this
those
morning.
suckers if you can catch them, but
yeah,
overnight, and then probably they've done their damage. But I tell you what, a new set will come in. If
exactly.
you don't. Do you put anything on them to prevent that?
We have sprayed some with 7,
Mm-hmm.
liquid 7.
I even use some powder on mine sometimes. I don't use powder
Right.
very often, but with this and broccoli, I sometimes use powder.
Well, you almost have to,
Yeah.
unless you cover it, with the row crop cover.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I had some of that one time. I've kind of got away from that. I'm glad you said that. There's a fiberglass row cover. I think it's something like that, but it's real light. Lets the sun in, lets the
Water.
moisture in, but it keeps the bugs out.
Right.
I haven't seen anybody use that in a long time. That used to be back when they had the Victory Garden. They used that a lot for some of their plants.
It's like they use on tobacco beds, or
Tobacco
dead
beds,
when they
too.
have tobacco plants,
Okay.
That keeps the bugs out.
Now, I've got some root crops down here, but they look like they've had some trouble with critters.
Right.
Charlie?
This is a row of sweet potatoes plants that I'd set out, and the groundhogs have been in and just eat them up.
You can barely tell what they are right now,
Right,
but they'll
right.
come
So-
back, won't they?
I'm not sure. I'm going to leave them and see. I've got some more plants I'm going to plant, and I've ordered some spray that's supposed to deter the groundhogs and the rabbits, so I'm going to spray that, and then I'm going to put a chicken wire around the fence so maybe they won't come in. And of course, we already got electric fence, but they're coming through that some way.
You get the tall fence, electric fence. Now you put chicken wire up.
Put the chicken wire up. So
You can't. Then you get the cages over here.
yeah, I've been trying to trap them. I haven't trapped any. I trapped a couple last year and would take them and turn them loose. And but this year I haven't been able to trap any.
I got 3 raccoons I've trapped in the last month. It seems like I get rid of one and there's another one come. I don't know if they've. I thought I only had one to begin with.
Oh, there are bunches of them.
Now, what other plants do they get?
Well, we had some horticulture beans, and they ate all them off, and then they new planting of green beans, and they've eaten the tops out of them. The purple hulls and the butter beans are not bothering.
I'll be darned.
So,
Now, what are these right here? These purple plants?
these are beets, Detroit red beets, and
You pickle beets?
yes, yeah,
I
we
love pickled
Yeah,
beets.
they're great.
Yeah.
And
So
then
are they easy to grow?
yeah, pretty easy to grow. Yes.
And then down here farther, you've got some
These
mustard
that's
greens.
yeah, mustard greens. That's
Mustard
a bed of
greens.
mustard greens, and you can tell they've just about run their course. And I'll be tilling those up, and then we'll plant some more in the fall.
That's more of a cool crop, yeah, like
Right,
your
right.
cabbage and your lettuce, and we had some lettuce. We had a lettuce patch up here at the front, but last time I was here it was full, but
Yeah,
now
yeah,
it's already gone.
Right.
Yeah.
More sweet potato plants. I ate all them off. And,
Oh, that's got to make you want to cry. You got a
Yeah.
long bed like that set up,
and they just went right down the row and ate every one of them.
probably overnight.
Right.
Yeah, ate all the tender things.
This is a late planting of purple hull peas, and down at the far end is a half a row of butter beans. And this was a late planting of the green beans, and you can see where the groundhog has just topped them.
Topped them off.
They come out one day and they're fine. The next day they'll be gone.
I see you've got a bunch more rows of new beans down here. This
Well, these are
called succession planting, where you pull something up and you plant something else in its
Right.
place.
Right, and then down here are flowers.
These are flowers.
These are flowers down here, zinnias and cosmos, and makes a nice cut flower arrangement.
Well, in this cut flower garden,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, this will be good for the fall. It'll take them a while to get going here,
yeah,
but my cut garden is my beds around my house.
Yeah. Right.
It's nice to have this, and then back here where you can cut all you want and don't have to worry about it,
Right.
what it looks like. This is some garden. Got some sage down here.
Sage, Yes.
Is that watermelon over there?
No, those are Mexican sunflowers.
Mexican sunflowers.
They'll grow real tall and make a nice big head. Beautiful, beautiful plant.
Keep the
Linda.
birds will come in here and eat all
Yeah.
the bugs in though.
Right, right.
Hopefully just the bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great garden. Well, Charlie, it's been fun. This would be my dream garden. Dan said that look what his garden looked like. He thought, in his dreams, of course. This is really something.
Well, it takes a little work to keep a garden this size clean, but it's fun. Have nice vegetables for dinner, and plus it's good exercise.
And the neighbors all want to. They come over. You say they come over as soon as you pick. That's when they come over.
Well, they'll come and help you.
I hope they're not watching this. Well, thank you. I'm going to keep coming back.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
all gardens evolve. I'll see what you got going this fall.
Look at Nathan.
Oh, Nathan got a whole
basket full of potatoes here. My goodness, we'll have to have some potatoes. For
That's
supper.
almost enough for a whole mess, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You pick all those up. You want to carry it? You want me to carry it? I'll carry it. Okay.
Okay, Charlie.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. I want to thank Linda and Charlie Shields for sharing their garden with us today. And this is your host, Bud Qualk, Master Gardening. Until next time, good gardening.